always stop here. I always stop here to come to the toilet because it's about halfway through the journey, and another hour we'll be up. About an hour from here we'll be up. So I'm going to change the batteries over in there, and then I'm going to record it all. So, pee-pee time. Okay, my name's Adrian Hyde of Adrian Hyde Photography, and today in this video we've got an extra special for you. We are on the road to Arosa, and it's drive along with Aid. At the moment we're in Kwa, and I'm going to take you turn by turn up the mountain if the battery lasts. If not, well, then I'll have to stop and not. But yes, so we are today, as I said, just going up to, we're in Kwa at the moment, going up to Arosa, and I'm going to take you, my one and only viewer, along for the ride. This is going to be not cut, just straight up, and no doubt I'll babble along and away, and it's a lovely drive up. It's a real drive.
Roundabout, take the second exit to Linden
well, it takes me about an hour to get up there. You should be able to do it in about 40 minutes normally, but I don't really rush up there, so I hope you'll stay along for it. And if you ever go up to Arosa, then you will know exactly what you're in for. And did this 3 years ago for the first time, and they've made quite a few improvements on the road.
Roundabout, take the second exit to Linden Cave.
It was quite narrow the first section we were going to go up, but now they've widened it. But yeah, it's good. It's a nice little drive. It's a nice little drive. The drive in up to now has been really nice as well. But I don't know how easy this is going to be to edit, because I'm on the GoPro Hero 8 black and a GoPro Hero 5 black, and one of them splits into 20, I think it's 20-minute sections it splits into, and then it shuffles them, so then I've got to actually find where it is. And can't remember which one does what. So hopefully I'll put the edit together
then
somehow.
Turn left.
But we're just about to run up here now, and this is all changed already. Got more roadworks here. Well, it'll take about an hour to get up there from the bottom. It's currently 4:45, so it should be up there about 4:45. But it
Turn
is
left onto St. Lucy's.
There's some lovely views, and it's a nice clear day as well. I don't particularly like coming down here at night, so I have done in the past and I will do it, but it's better if you can do it
in 4.5 kilometers.
If you can do it during the day, in daylight hours, especially on a blue sunny day like this, and you can see quite a lot. I hope that's recording. Can you see it's recording? Yeah, it's recording. Right, so you've got my company for the next hour. I was listening to the Archers, and it's getting quite exciting, but due to copyright issues, I can't really have that playing, so it's going to be just me talking, babbling on. But what I could do is tell you pretty much what's going to be happening over this summer with us. So the first week it's my time is split between between Arosa, Lensa Hydra, and back to Arosa. Then after that, I will be shooting Sammy's camps along with other pro camps. This is all for Osner Hockey Academy. Hence the badge. All my clothes at the moment are Osner, so it's my uniform for the next probably 5 weeks. So we're up here for 5 weeks. It begins a 5-week stretch. I don't know when this video will be going out, because the other videos will be 1 week implements in 1 week. It's like a long series I will do of my time up here, and the time up here is normally really enjoyable. So last year I made a real effort on the last camp to it gets tight up here. On the last camp to make a real effort to record what was going on, because I didn't record very much the first few camps. It's very, very hectic, and then you sort of get into a rhythm of doing it, and then it's a little easier. But if you do follow the series, one of my 4 people, I plan at the moment to go through all the equipment of what's going on, the settings of the cameras, and we got two cameras this year. We got the D800, which I used last year, but that is now 9 years old, that camera, and it's never missed a beat. Never missed a beat. I dropped it, I cracked the case on it, and it's still never missed a beat. And it's now done 90,000 clicks or photos, shutter releases, and it's good for 150, guaranteed 150. So, but I didn't want to risk it, so I've bought a D850, a second hand, 5 years old. It's the last DSLR camera, non-mirrored camera that Nikon did, and it's equal to what the D800 was. And I looked at the D4 and D4S, but I decided against that, mainly because of the XQD cards. I would have to have bought XQD cards, plus I would have had to bought different batteries as well. I've got battery grips with the D850, but that's one of the main reasons why I went for that. And also the D850 is it newer than the D4? I think it's newer than the D4. That's another reason why. It's older technology. The D4 is still a bloody good camera. You can't knock them, they're really good. And then we have that's the camera side of it. Still be shooting the 70 to 200 2.8 Nikon lens, and I've also got the 2470 Nikon lens. That's also 2.8. And yeah, I've had those lenses now for quite a few years, and they are still extremely good lenses. And yeah, they are really good lenses, really, really good. Another thing that's changed this year, that's the phone just gone down, but we won't worry about that because we've got to look on ahead. Another thing that's changed this year is I will be doing the portraits for the diplomas, which in itself is not a problem, but we do have to have a second lighting setup. So I'm using the old Union 865s for that. I have 3 of them. Look at that view. I don't know if you can see it or not. Yeah, so we got Union 685s.
In 600 meters,
and I did a
plants.
photo shoot for Blooming Tots, and I don't know if I've done that video. I haven't done that video yet. It may be coming out before this series, or I'm not entirely sure yet. I don't even know what I recorded on that, so there may be a video in that, there may be not. I'm not 100% sure. So we've got that going on.
Continue on plants.
Yeah, the Blooming. Red light. Perhaps I can look for the phone now. Wherever it went. Oh, it's safe. It's safe enough. Oops. Yeah. So, yeah. I'm hoping no one's going to ring in this, but this is certainly a good view up here. Yeah, so we got. They have requested that we shoot on a green background so they can cut the people out nice and easily. So the secret with the green background is that it's got to be lit nice and evenly. So my olden days, before I had all the Ellencrom stuff, and I've kept it, I've got these great big 120 soft boxes.
In 6
They're umbrellas actually.
Keep left
So I'm going to use those to partially light the subject and the background. I hope this is going to work. It's all a bit of an experiment. Last week in Blooming Tots I did it on what did I do on the Blooming Tots? I did a white screen. Yeah, I did it on the white screen background last time, and it worked pretty well. But what you'd be really careful of is that you don't get the subject too close to the background, because what happens is you have green spill on, and it reflects back on us. So if they've got blonde hair, they're going to have greeny bits on there, and we do not want that. So we've got to have enough distance for that to work. And then I'm going to key them with another 685 on the front, so you can have 2 120 softbox either side, and then yes. So where am I? I've lost my train of thought now. Yeah, so we got the Ellencrom 80 deep dish box, which I've got on a converter flashlight holder, which I'll show you this all in when I actually shoot this, if I remember. I may not remember to do it, because things may get a little, because the first time I'm up here as well in a long time, and the first setup is always the hardest. Once the first lot's done, then we know exactly which box wherever it goes. When I break it down, I put them in all the same boxes and then pull it back up. So it works quite well. So that's the lighting setup for that, and attached to that is we have to name all of these with the people that are there. So my plan is to have them photograph them first of all with their helmet so you can see them, and then to take away the helmet and they can do their pose. So yeah, there's a lot to think about on this trip, a lot to think about, and I'm surprisingly nervous about this one. I don't really know why. I think it's a lot of unknowns. We've got all the equipment that we used from last year, so that should all be good. Yeah. And it took me about 3 hours to pack the van, to get everything together, because we got There's so many different elements to this shoot, because we have, I think either 7 or 8 ELB 400s and Ranger units we use, all dotted around the rink, and some of them have got 1 head, some of them have got 2 heads, and I have most of them, if you know Arosa at all, they have 3 different heads. They have action heads, which is the really fast flash duration. They have the pro heads, which is the longer flash duration, but you can use high speed sync with them. And then you also have the HS head, and that's a high speed sync head. And but they've got the longest flash duration, and this is because the idea with those is that you can use high speed sync with them, so you need the longer flash duration. So the flash would go off 550th of a second, these flash durations are, so at 1:1. So the flash goes off, then you have the shutter speed of say 2000 per second, 1/2000th of a second in the middle of that flash duration. So basically all the camera sees is a continuous light. You don't get any banding, but it's so good, the Arosa system, that it works flawlessly. But I didn't want to do everything high speed sync, because not high speed sync, because it wouldn't work. So my normal camera settings last year was the ISO was 800 ISO, between 600 and 800 ISOs for the action shots, and all of the flash units were on 5 power 5. Oh, I'm going too fast. Yeah, they were on the power 5, and it worked really well. And most of them have got 2 heads on them, and the one has the faster duration. I stick on the A port, so all the action heads, they come out the A port. All the other heads, the HS heads and the Pro heads, whoa, we put them in the B port. And when the Arosa have the splits, the generators, that's the thing that actually powers it, which sends the flash duration out, actually makes the flash pop. It's not an equal split between the A and B, so it's a 60-40 split. And if you automatically put two heads on, then the flash duration is automatically quicker, because there's less power going out, if that makes any sense at all. Am I babbling too much? I don't even know. Anyway, so I hope you're enjoying this ride up. I don't know how far we've got to go now. It's only about 20 odd K up, but it's all roads like this, and it's nice. So that is, I think that's the lighting setup all sort of done. But I said packing the car was 3 hours, and of course each package, each light needs a light stand, needs cables, needs heads, needs power to it. That's another thing I bought this year. I've got 2 more extension cables, because I know Arosa really well, that rink now, but the unknown one is Lenzerheide. When we go to Lenzerheide, I've got to come back down here with all this gear on board again, and then we go shooting in Lenzerheide. So when we do that, we'll have a big breakdown, and then we have a breakdown, and then we have, what do we have then? Yeah, breakdown, and then we make it all in Lenser hider, then we break down, then we come back up, and then we stay up in Arosa then for the next 2 weeks after that. So you got 3 weeks pretty much back to back at this point. Yeah, 3 weeks back to back shooting, and in that time we're pretty much do. I think there's 3 pro camps. There's, I don't know how many groups of the pro camps there are. There may be 2 groups, and then we've got the elite camps in Arosa, and they have 3 groups, under 13, under 15 and under 17. So that gets pretty busy. Like, that sort of time gets really busy. You've got at least 3 groups in one day, and they are long days of shooting. They are long days of shooting, but it's all good, it's all good. And last year I think we did over the course of the season, 3 weeks, I think we did about at least, I'm thinking I've been very conservative, at least 5,000 photos we put together. It may have been even more than that. I have a feeling it's closer to 7,500.
In 5 kilometers, keep right on to Brown.
Sounds horrendous. Oh, you got way too many photos, way too many photos. But the thing is, with the lower end camps, we don't know, and this is the reason why we do it. We don't know which child I don't do the U9 and U11s. I'm actually very privileged to be on the ice teaching them. But I photograph from U13 upwards. And we don't necessarily know, out of those children, who are going to become pros. Because one day, in 5, 6 years time, 7 years time, they will hit an age where they're under 17 and under 19, or maybe under 20s. I'm not quite sure how the system works. Here we're at St. Peter's now, and it's very interesting to watch the progression as they go through. And if we're very in a position where we can photograph them when they first join, say U15, U13, and then they stay with the academy all the way through their career, we've got a progress, and we've got action shots of them at 13, 15 and 17. It's pretty amazing. It's pretty amazing, absolutely amazing that we can do this. And the academy's been going now a few years, a good few years. And last year was my privilege to photograph a chap called JJ Moser, and he has been with the academy since 15. He was 15 when he first joined the academy, and now he's a pro. He's now gone off to the States. He did his last year, he did his first season in the States, so he's actually hit the National Hockey League, and I saw his first goal. Very cool, very cool. But he actually got drafted this time last year at the camp, so he had the news come through, and it was lovely. It was really cool. So good to see. I've got someone up with me now. If I have, I'll stop because I don't. Much easier. There's no pressure then. Arosa 15k. Just a little story. First time we came up here, we came up in the black car. We had a black car, a VW Charang. And then 2 years ago, we changed it to this car here, and it was one of my times that I came up by myself. So I was been shooting up here now. So this is my 3rd season, I think, shooting up here. So this is good. So the story goes, the first time I came up in the black car, and all well and good. Went down, The next time I came up in the white car, and this is the Mercedes V-Class we have now. Absolutely gorgeous car, full of sensors all over. So on the way in, I picked up a nail, and I had no idea until I got to about, I think it was about here actually, about 15k in, I had an alarm come up on the car saying that the pressure in the tyre is dropping. And of course you think, oh no, and it was a rear wheel tyre, and of course you know what the arsehole does, starts doing this, doesn't it? It starts doing this, you start tweaking, you start looking, you think, have I got enough? No, have I got enough? I kept a real close eye on it, and I got up to Arosa, and then I pumped the tyre straight up, and then I got into a garage and we fixed the puncture. But everything, I think, believe in life, that everything happens for a reason, and I think if I hadn't have been in this car, you never know, I may have driven slightly differently, and with this road being the way it is, the car would have started handling differently, and you never know, I may have had an accident. So this V-Class sort of saved it. And it was two minds whether we were going to, I remember when we bought the V-Class, and we were in two minds whether I was going to hold off a week, and then when I come back, then pick the van up and then use that. But no, we didn't push it through. It was just offered earlier because I was coming up here, and it'd been easier for me to dump all the stuff in the boot. Well, I say the boot, back. So yeah, I think it saved me. Saved me having an accident, I think. Excuse me. All these little turns. And how far are we now? We have done, that sign there said 12k.
In 700 meters, keep right on to Frauentobel.
We've done 3k. That story took 3k. Like I say, I don't rush up here, but it is one hell of a view. Oh, I don't enjoy it when we have, sometimes when we come up, it's very, very busy. You have people behind you, and then they overtake on blind corners, and you think, oh, gee whiz. There's enough Jesus Christ turns without someone adding to it.
Keep right on to Frauentobel Tunnel.
But today it's nice and quiet up here. Oh, we're saying that, there's 3 cars coming down now. I hope this video is worth me missing out on the arches.
Continue on the current road.
It's great, and the arches are great. It's not a good road if you suffer from car sickness. This is not the place to come. Look at this! I'm hoping these cameras are picking this up, because it is one beautiful ride in this. The socks and sandals will be very proud. If he doesn't watch any of my crap anyway, my rubbish. But this drive along with aid is a special one. It's in real, going to put this in real time as well. Last year we were here, this point here, where we are now, had all roadworks. This was all roadworks last time, so it's moved along quite a way. This was all this tunnel's been resurfaced now. I don't even know if this is going to match up or not. let's do a check on how long the battery. Oh, we've still got 70% of the battery. 29 minutes to run with the card. That card's got longer. I think if I move that up a bit more, see a bit more of the road. Oh, that's better. I don't know how much the dashboard we've got on there. Looks quite a lot. And the temperature difference between Kur, which is down there, and Arosa is about 8 degrees. So it never gets really hot up in Arosa, which is so nice in the summer, because down in Kur, when it's 33, 34 degrees, it's pleasant up here. It's really quite pleasant. Of course, we are in a cool place anyway. And we get out and it's 20 degrees here. Right at this moment it's 20 degrees. It's nice and cool. But of course, the downside of that is in the winter time it's very cold. So if it's +1 down in Kur, it's about -7 up here, which we came up once in May. Last year we came up in May. You know, I changed the car tyres over to summer tyres. Of course, we drive down normal, it's fine. We go up to Arosa in May and there's still bloody snow on the floor. Was not expecting that in May. I wasn't expecting to drive up actually in May, but we had an opportunity. Sammy got invited to the Future Cup, which they didn't hold here this year. They held it in Lindsayheide. So the Future Cup we got invited to. I shot it, and I shot over 2 days. So I shot it one day, and then I was lucky enough to teach on it the day after. So we had some lovely photos from that. Well, they were nice photos as well. And that's the time when my first time I got a new setup last year of Anicrom and Ranger units, and yeah, I tested them all up in there and it worked so well. It did work well, it did work well. The only downside is that we've got more generators than battery chargers, so I've got to switch the batteries around for some of it, because what I'd generally like to do is plug them in and I don't have to worry about them. 8k, so we've done a few more now. We're almost up here. So we have to run all the wires around, and then I don't have to worry about them. But if you don't fire them for a couple of minutes, they haven't quite worked it out yet. Some of the units go to sleep quicker than others. Of course, if you turn them off for any sort of period of time, they just go to sleep. And if you set them, I've done this, and you set them, and then you set them to stay on, then you turn them off overnight, then they go back to their default. And because a lot of these units are old, I mean, the one unit I had from new was 2017, which is 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 17, 18, 19, 20, 22. That's 5 years old as it stands now in 2022. and the Ranger units I've got are older than that. And there's a couple of batteries which need to be plugged in all the time to work properly. I mean, the battery cells, after a time they go anywhere, but all the small batteries, they're all really good still. It's just the big Ranger batteries, they're not as good. They still work, they just don't hold a charge, so they have to be plugged in all the time. Now I just have to note this and then change them around. Oh, England. Well, it's been lovely chatting to you, my one and only viewer, and I hope this has been insight to what we're getting up to for the next 3 weeks. I should try and talk to you about the camera settings as well, because it's also a photography channel, this, and so let me run through the camera settings. So the ISO normally has been floating around about between 640 and 800 ISO on the D800, and that still gives me a really clean image, because I have to crop these in quite a lot. So that's the ISO, and then I'd normally shoot f3.2. I normally shoot around there. 2.8, I find if I focus on the body, sometimes the face isn't in focus. So if I open it up by one click, one extra third of the stop, I can hit the body and the face is always in. So this is really good. The autofocus is always on continuous, and I'm this year going to change it to the small group. Last year I put it on spot, and this year I had an experiment with a new D850, and a new D850 I put it on 9, and it when I was shooting Sammy, when did I shoot Sammy? I shot Sammy in Hoyleed, and it was just to try and just all the experiment was on that was just to see the focusing system. The focusing system on that D850 is a lot quicker than the D800, which you would expect. So yeah, that sort of covers the f-stop, and then the maximum shutter speed is still 250 of a second. So then that should cut out a lot of the ambient light, which I would like to do. So cut out as much ambient light as possible. You need the ambient light on to focus. So without the ambient light, you won't focus anyway. So we're almost coming up to it now. It's getting good. We're almost there. That means I've almost spoke for an hour. I don't believe we've been speaking for an hour, have we? No way. I don't know. Anyway, so yeah, so the camera settings, 250 of a second, f3.5, and then we have ISO of between 640 and 800. That's where I start with the cameras. Autofocus on AF continuous and 9 grouped, so it's almost a single point, but it's a little bit, it's cross focus points. Really good on a D850. Then the lights are always set on 5. There's no zoom on these, they're just the standard things I put on them, standard reflectors. Oh, we're almost up here now. And that normally gives us enough light all over coverage over the ring, so we don't have to run up and down. The first year I did it, I only had one HS head, the LB 400, and I was up and down the stairs shooting it with speed lights. The ISO was quite high, as you can imagine, but hey, I got it to work. So it's possible to shoot this all with speed lights, but it is harder. It is harder, a lot harder. The results are less continuous, less consistent. The results. Is it still going? Oh, it's still going. Good. Oh, it's now 18 degrees up here. 18 degrees. Woohoo! Look at that view. It's now 20 past 4. The last shoot was quite sad. It was quite an event. Not really emotional about it, but it was a good day. We're almost up here now. God, have I been talking that long? Gee whiz. Anyway, so as I say, we're almost up here now. Thanks very much for watching. If you did watch all of this, and if you turn my commentary off, that was also good as well. But like I say before in many of these videos, they're not necessarily for you, they're actually for me, because I know I really enjoy doing this, and one day I'll come back and I want to listen to myself and my thoughts as well. It's always interesting to listen to oneself babbling on about nothing really, but just the thoughts in your mind. Guys, last time was about a year ago we were up here. No, September was the last time we were up here. Middle of September. Just after Sammy's birthday last time. And that's the best camp ever. It's the adults camp, and honestly it's so much fun. 1 kilometer,
turn left onto Yeni Strasse, then arrive at ice rink Arosa.
You hear that? We're almost at ice rink Arosa. It's a sign, the bears. It's been quite a pleasant drive up here. Not busy, no one. The road's been really quiet. Normally we have at least 3 or 4 people wanting to overtake. Train 4 to 6. Oh, no cars allowed down here between. No cars allowed between. You can't go down that road at night. Is that right? No, surely not. Maybe. Don't know. So we're now arrived almost here at the Arosa ice rink. So thanks very much for watching. Hopefully you'll watch some of the other videos as well to do with this series. I will record some of it, but I don't know how much I'm going to be able to record. So we're almost here now. So the rink's just in front of me. So until next time, we'll see you soon. Bye bye for now. Entrance or the other entrance. I got rid of the barrier.
When possible, make a U-turn, then turn left.
Shimmy's car. I think it might be on Arosa.we. Right, we are here now. Show you the state of this van. Oh, hopefully nothing falls out. Oh, look at this. All that. That is gotta go in there.